Hi everyone, how's it going? So, yesterday everybody heard what I had to say yesterday, and of course, you know what? None of this is any of my business, but I'm hearing it, so I'm talking about it. Basically, I've been accused of blaming everything on one little girl when literally that wasn't the case at all. First off, yesterday I was pissed off, not because the family had said anything. And even when they do say something, they don't say anything new anyway. I was pissed off yesterday, not because the family said anything, but because the relocation agent stood up there at the bottom of the road and fucking lied. That's why I was angry. That's the first thing. The second thing is that in discussing how my mental health affects me, I made it very fucking clear that no children are to blame here. Children do some stupid shit, some reckless shit. That's true. But it's not their fault. This all comes back to the adults. Let's put it together. So the adults say racist shit for effect to get attention. I don't know what kind of people they're hanging around where that's acceptable, but that's what they do, right? So what happens is that what the kids end up becoming like, they end up becoming like a version of their elders, right? So there are two main elders as far as I can see, or three main elders that make up three siblings of the family, right? The first one is from here in Brighton, and you can tell by her accent. The second sibling is the one who likes to use racial slurs as and when, but when it comes to calling me a nonce, like for no reason, that's where she draws the line. The third sibling, which is the oldest one, she's the one who says dumb shit all the time, probably has influenced the other two to say dumb shit, but she says it out of weakness. She doesn't say it because, she genuinely thinks that will make her a better person. She's not a strong character. She's not a strong person. And the slightest provocation, she will immediately go to the worst insult she can think of. So this is what we have. We have three elders. One of them enabling the situation by going around, helping the rumor mill. The second one likes to start shit, but in her mind, she doesn't like to take it too far. And the third one takes things too far, but doesn't like to do it often, doesn't like to do things often. So you've got a combination of those three people. And then you've got the kids. Now with the brother, he's emotional. He says shit. If he feels like he's personally injured, that's what this family does. They always go too fucking far because they will think of the worst insult that they can say to somebody if their feelings are hurt. It doesn't matter what the situation is or what the insult is. Apparently the brother's been calling me the fat N-word, and again, like, this whole family has the vocabulary of somebody who left in year 3, and not bright ones either. Okay, so apparently the brother's been calling me the fat N-word because, like, apparently I've been blaming everything on the little one, which is not the case at all, because the little one is probably the least to blame out of everybody. She might be the most annoying, but she's the least to blame. All right. In fact, she's not to blame at all. She's a fucking kid. She's not to blame at all. But let me continue. So you got the little boy who says vicious things to kind of assuage their own emotions and assuage their own guilt, and, or to kind of remedy his hurt feelings. And then you've got the little girl who is probably the worst combinations of the mum and the aunt, because the mum takes things too far and the aunt is relentless. So the little girl does both. But again, as much as I don't like the kids at all, it's not their fault. None of this is their fault. You've got to look at the adults. You've got to look at them. This is why every time I got angry with the kids, I'm like, no, I've got to beat this mum's ass, or beat the adults' ass. Because it's them. They're the ones to blame. They're the ones to blame. They're the ones who can't handle their emotions. They're the ones who can't handle Like anything that they fucking do, like they always have to start shit or take it too far or both. They are always doing that shit. They always take it too fucking far. Too fucking far. Now with me, again, I'm not without my flaws. I was raised by fucking wolves. Okay? I was raised by people who didn't know how to handle their emotions and passed their emotional dysfunction on to me. So you best believe that there are times where I'm gonna fucking take it too far. So this is not about calling anybody out, and making them feel bad and stuff like that. It's just the fucking truth. Nobody's blaming the little girl. She might feel like shit after the things that I said yesterday, but rest assured, it is not her fault. I might not like her, but the traits that she got and the traits that she picked up, that is not on her. It is not on her at all. But I got borderline. And you've got a family that have been given ammunition not only by the people in their own lives, but by their social services, by the relocation agent, because of the lies they've told. They've been given like ammunition by everyone around them because of the lies that they've been telling. Do you understand what I mean about me? And what they've been like, they've been taking everything that's happened to me and they've been turning it around to say that I'm obsessed with them, or so really this whole situation is their own fault. I'm not talking about the kids again, I'm talking about the adults. This whole situation is their own fault. They ain't got a wide vocabulary, they're not smart. The N-word, they keep relying on the N-word for everything. Again, when you hurt their feelings even remotely, they rely on the worst possible insult that they can throw at you. And it's predictable as well. It's predictable as hell. Like, did they forget that there were other black people who live around here and not just me? Like, again, one black person hurts their feelings, laughs too loud, calls them on their shit. Suddenly everybody's an N-word. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I know they've been using the N-word at school. I know they've been doing that. So because one black person who never troubled you in the first place, never gave you shit in the first place, you start shit with them, you can't handle the consequences. So now everybody's an N-word. And then they want to convince themselves that because their feelings are hurt, their actions are justified. No. You're not a victim. You're a bully. You're a cowardly bully at that. Just because you're cowardly, it doesn't mean you're a victim. This is what I don't understand about people. You want to bully other people for one reason or another. And then when you get caught out and the consequences reach you, suddenly you're the victim. Being a coward doesn't make you a victim. Just like being courageous doesn't make you a fucking perpetrator. You understand? So no, nobody's blaming the little girl. I talked about the little girl because that's what she was doing. But again, she wasn't even doing that much. She was just like, she knocked on the wall, like I think once. And then when I was going in the bathroom, she knocked on the wall again. Like it wasn't even that much. It was just like one day and then another day it was that. Like it was not that much. It was not that much. And yeah, I called her a few names or two, but the little boy's a little shit too. Who the fuck relies on racial slurs immediately in order to defend your family? There are so many different things you could call me. I mean, I'm kind of big. You could have used that. I got a mental illness, even though I don't advise it. You could have used that. You could have used literally anything to insult me with, but the thing that you always come back to is my race because it upsets everyone else. And you think it makes you look like a badass by using the N-word repeatedly, just like that bloody like internet troll, just constantly relying on racial slurs in order to make their point. And I'm like, it's unintelligent. It's unintelligent. It's unintelligent. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once again, That yesterday was not me being angry at them. It was me being angry at the relocation agent for saying, well, nobody wanted revenge and nobody wanted her out, which is a bold-faced lie. That's what really angered me. It wasn't actually what the family did, because we already talked about what they've done extensively. I already talked about them like extensively when they were doing shit. For the last 2 weeks, they ain't been doing shit. The only thing is that they say things behind my back, you know, and they still use the same slurs because they're predictable and they're not very smart. So, you know, they've been saying it behind my back, sure, but in front of my face, they ain't been saying shit. They've been doing their very best not to start any crap for 2 whole weeks. Like, I think it's been for 2 weeks now, if not 3 weeks. I said 1 or 2, like in the last video, but the truth is it's probably been longer than that. So for the last 2 weeks or so, they ain't been saying shit while they're over here. And if they have been saying anything, they've been keeping it mute so that I can't hear anything. So they haven't done anything. Like, it's not about blaming the little girl for anything. It's not about blaming her for anything. It's just about, you know, ironing out the lies that have been told. And again, people can't even get behind those lies with their actions. That's one of the reasons how you know they're lying, is because they won't stand by what they say physically. With me, I'll stand by what I say. I've gone to hospital on the back of things that I've said about everybody. I've gone to hospital over it. I've been sectioned over it. Well, blackmailed into sectioning myself, which is basically the same thing. But I'm willing to put action behind what I say. Like, everybody, you know, people want to come up with M words and shit. They don't back up their shit. Never have done. With me, I've said that I'm a Havana syndrome victim from jump. I've said that I've been subject to, you know, unlawful surveillance. I've been subject to, you know, electronic torture, electronic weaponry. I've put my whole body, mind and reputation behind everything that I fucking say. The same thing I said to the police is the same thing I said to mental health. The same thing I've said to mental health is the same thing I've told my family. The same thing I told my family is the same thing I've told my closest friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? I put everything behind what I say. If it's not the truth, I'm not going to do it. But these people, you know, of course the nonce thing isn't true, but the thing is, you're going to call somebody a nonce just to try to get a rise out of them. This happened months ago. I'm just using this as an example. So you're going to try to call somebody a nonce just to get a reaction. Then you're going to go around telling everybody else in the village that I'm unsafe around kids, or that I've been threatening kids, to the point where they spread it around. So to my mind, you're going to say all that, but then you're not going to take precautions to make sure that I'm out safely, or that you're out safely. You know, not even you, me, because I'm not the one who goes to school here. I'm not the one who has friends and family here. You are. So instead of making sure that you could get me out safely, and you could make sure there's no smoke, or make sure there's no... Instead of doing that, you're going to leave? You're the one who has family here. Why are you leaving? You're the one who has school here. Why are you leaving? This shit don't make no sense. So, you know, you want to say that I'm unsafe around children, but your actions, you don't follow that up with your actions. You make accusations against people, and then you don't follow that up with your actions. Even if the unsafe around children thing was not even remotely true, which it isn't, even if it wasn't remotely true, and it's not true, the fact that you're not willing to put your actions behind what you say, that makes you dangerous. That makes you dangerous. You're talking about a person who, when somebody pushed them far enough, they were going to get dressed for jail, because they knew what the situation was. They were getting dressed to go to jail. I put my actions behind what I believe in and behind what my truth is. I put my actions behind it. But the thing is, people lie about me all the time and they cannot put their actions behind what they say. They can't. If people think, oh, you're so this, you're so that. Like, people think I'm smart, and yes, I am. I am smart. But it's only up to a certain point. The truth is, the reason why I can speak so well is because most of the time I'm speaking the truth, if not all the time. So I'm not stuck on what to say. Of course I'm not stuck on what to say because I'm not hiding anything. I'm not stuck on what I have to say. And the thing is, I put my actions behind my truth. I've been known as a mad woman for decades, for almost 2 decades I've been talking about targeting. I've been the mad woman for longer. I've been an N-word for like since I was a teenager. Like, it's just I'm willing to put everything that I have behind what I say. I'm willing to do it. Even my family cannot take priority over the truth. They don't take priority over my truth. Even my family can move out the way if they're going to get in the way of the truth. Even they can move out the way. I do not compromise the truth ever. What is this? I shouldn't have put that on sound, Oh gosh. I've got to mute that. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even put like my family above the truth. I don't put my friends, but I'm on my own. I'm on my own. Do you seriously think I don't want people in my life? I do want people in my life. I want like a normal life. I do, but not at the expense of the truth. I'd rather speak the truth and have people hate me because they want to convince themselves that I'm the villain. I'd rather have that than have everybody believe in me and the whole thing's a smokescreen. I'm sorry. But again, these people, they engage in reactive abuse and they don't put their actions behind that reactive abuse. They don't put their actions behind their lies. They don't put their actions behind anything. It's just all... Ironically, Nev Gorilla said that I was spouting hot air and it seems to me like I'm the only one who isn't. Or that TIs are the only ones who aren't spitting hot air. We put action behind what we say. It's not just proof, it's not just evidence. We put our lives behind what we say. There are a lot of targeted individuals that know they're targeted individuals and don't say anything. They don't say anything. And then there are even more targeted individuals that don't know their targets. And because they don't know, they don't say. But we put our bodies, some of us have put our lives behind what we say. Daniel put his life behind the statements that he made. David Scott Baker put his life behind the statements that he made. Phil Leak put his life behind the statements that he made. Elvira Williams put her life behind what she was saying. So many TIs who died, they put their whole bodies and their lives behind the truth. That's some powerful shit. That's the type of person I aspire to be. I'm putting everything behind the fucking truth. I'm not hiding anything. By the way, RIP to TIs who've passed on. So many TIs, they put their lives, their bodies, their time behind the truth. That's the type of person I'm trying to be, and that's the type of person I want to be. But these people talking about me being, unsafe around children and talking about how I'm making threats and stuff like that, you can't even put action behind your words. You'd rather walk around looking like the victim than do something. With me, I've been fucking volunteering for like anti-war efforts and shit. And I've been finding out more about how military funding works. I've been finding out more about that, even though they haven't heard from me in a while. I've still been doing my research. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. It's just like, you know, you don't put your money where your mouth is ever. If I'm on, there are so many things that you could do if you're genuinely concerned. You don't have to turn this into an opportunity to mock and deride and to laugh at people or to lie about people. You can actually take action if you're like, again, you don't take any action to secure kids safety. You don't do any of that because you know it's not fucking true. And the whole point is to make everyone hate me whilst I'm here, isn't it? I'm tired of these people, man. Tired of these people. And again, the N-word, always the N-word with this family. I'm thinking, you can't even come up with any new racial slurs? The fuck's wrong with you? I'm sorry, but like, it's like, there's just that one slur over and over. And I'm like, you do realize that the more you use it, the more it loses its power, right? Sooner or later, they're gonna try to use that word on a black person. And instead of us being like clutching pearls and shit, we're just gonna laugh at you. We're just gonna laugh at you. Because it's just pathetic that anybody would use a racial slur in order to stand their ground. And while the person that you're using that word at, you know, increasingly they're getting detached from it, you're getting more attached to it and you're losing your power. But anyway, I gotta go. Yeah, my shoulder's acting up. I think I got an unstable bicep. The pain's subsiding now, but I still got to see what needs to be done about that. But anyway, I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Mwah. Bye-bye. My fellow TIs, stay strong. I love you. Bye-bye.